Good evening. Welcome everyone to the launch of my book of poems, The Journey. My name's Ambreen and I work in the field of communications in a university. The poems in this book have been compiled over many, many years. The first poem was compiled in high school, and after that I traveled extensively in my life. So many of the poems are written in other cities that inspired me. The book is called The Journey because it talks about a journey or a philosophy at several levels. There is a hadith by Hazrat Muhammad. Be in this world as if you are a stranger or a traveler. So at one level, the poems describe my emotions and thoughts in different cities I visited. And the book is about moving from one place to the other, by a ship, by a boat, or an aeroplane. At another level, the book is about a process of self-discovery and self-understanding that comes with time. And at a third level, the book is talking about a spiritual journey and how we come closer to God through our various experiences on earth. I'd like to thank the people who made this book and book launch possible. Dr. Ali Zaidi and Nadra Zaidi, who actually pushed me to put my poems together and put them into the form of a book. Bushra Hussain, who can't be with us this evening, but actually helped me take this poem, this painting that I purchased from Baku, Azerbaijan, and make it into the cover of the book. Artist Mehreen Rahman, who we will meet later in the evening. It is her paintings that you see surrounding us at T2F today. The theme of Mehreen's paintings are color, life, companionship, God, faith. And these are the themes you will see reflected in the poems as well. And the poems and paintings will complement each other and weave a colorful story. I'd like to thank all my friends who are going to be reading out some of my poems this evening. And I'd like to thank T2F, especially Shumaila, who has been so supportive. Before I start reading the poems, I would like to tell you that I will read some of them, and some of them will be read by my friends, and I will introduce the friend as well as the background to the poem. The first poem I will be reading was written in Karachi in 1999, and that's where the journey started, and I started writing poems. In 1999, John F. K. Jr. was killed in a plane crash, and I was a huge fan of the Kennedy dynasty at that time, and I was really quite saddened by the aura of tragedy that surrounded the family. And so I started writing this poem to come to terms with the reality of life, in which there are sad events that happen, but also some very happy ones. And so this is the culmination of that process of soul searching. Setting the sails. Sometimes I wish that I lived in a world where there were no plane crashes, no nuclear reactors, no deforestation, no starving children or dying soldiers, no greed, corruption, or ugliness. Sometimes I wish I lived in a world where there were only mountains and glittering lakes, children playing in the sunshine, camps, charity walks, and family reunions, bridal showers, bouquets, and love. Then I realized I live in a world of both tragedy and celebration, both good times and bad times, both virtue and evil, people who push you down and those that pull you up. Every rose has its thorns, every sky has its clouds. Even this world has its share of tears. It's a matter of perspective. You can't change the sea. You can only set your sails. Count your blessings, not your woes. Count your friends, not your foes. Be a friend. Look at the sunshine and not the clouds. Life is a journey. Travel cheerfully, and you've already made the world a better place. Thank you. The next poem is called Seashells, and it's also written in Karachi. It was written on a Sunday morning after I had taken a walk at the beach. The people of Karachi are really lucky that they have the sea as a constant companion. I find the sea very soothing and very relaxing. And I love walking along the beach and collecting pebbles and seashells. And the next poem, called Seashells, will be read out by my very good friend Zarmeena Raza. She is a teacher, and she's also the founder of the popular storytelling forum, The Crows.
Good evening, everyone. Seashells, written on a Sunday morning after a walk by the beach. So many shells by the sea, of different shapes and sizes, colors and textures, so beautiful and mysterious, voyaging through the depths of the ocean, washed up by the waves at night, dotting the shoreline by day. Does the sea share her secrets with the seashells? Secrets she has kept since time immemorial, since civilizations grew near ports and ships plowed the waves. Is that why you can hear the sound of the sea when you put a shell to your ear? I wonder.
Thank you. The next poem is not written in Pakistan. It is written in the most beautiful place I've ever visited in my life. This place has been called heaven on earth by poets and writers in English and Urdu literature. This poem is written in Granada, in Spain. I was studying in UK at that time, and I was living in Europe. This is obviously before Brexit, so I could travel extensively in Europe. And I enjoyed seeing new interesting places and meeting fascinating people. But at the same time, I realized that my experiences were really transient. And this was really brought home when I visited Granada. Granada is the last place in Europe that Islam had a presence. And you can see all these beautiful buildings that are a combination of Christian, Islamic, and different traditions. But those buildings are not used anymore. And Granada is very different now than it was when those beautiful buildings of Alhambra and Cordoba were made. And so this poem was written to express the feelings I had at that time of being in such beauty that lasted for such a short period of time. The journey. An endless journey, random encounters, chance meetings at clubs, cafes, and caravanserais, and then goodbyes. Life is a journey. Faces and places blend into a haze. Each month brings a new friend or a station, ulema, Jesuit, or Freemason. A slice of life, all emotions intensified. Each encounter seems like a few stolen moments before twilight. Seize the moment, embrace the friend. Tomorrow may bring another end, or miles of road beyond the bend. Be glad, be sad. Let laughter ring out onto the stage, or silence engulf the halls of rhyme. Like actors and players in a mime, we are the travelers of time. What I also realized in Granada is, and many other places in Europe, that perhaps even being in this world is like being in a guest house or caravanserai, where you're in a temporary place which is part of a much longer journey. The next poem we'll be reading out tonight is called Arabic Song. This poem was written in the Middle East and the Levant. I visited this part of the world several times, and I loved its color and vibrancy. The Middle East is very ancient, and so it's a melting pot of so many cultures, traditions, and religions. And it's the kind of place where you can see the oldest churches, the oldest mosques. You can hear the azan and the church bells in the course of the same evening. You can have kafa in the oldest walled city of the world as you're listening to Arabic music. You can watch belly dancing in Cairo, and then a day later watch the whirling dervishes dance a very mystical dance. And so I wrote this poem because I realized that our identities are not as fixed in stone as we sometimes believe they are, and that human beings have a very common history in which we have kind of perhaps created the divisions with time that weren't actually there, perhaps. So the next poem will be read by my good friend, Margaret Velho. Margaret is a life coach and a member of our writing group, Inked Conversations. Thank you, Margaret.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Ambreen. The Arabic Song. My life is like an Arabic song to me. I understand bits and pieces, a word here and there. Overall, the meaning is lost. Like an Arabic song, the meaning and purpose of my life is beyond my understanding. Yet, like an Arabic song, my life is magical, mysterious, and beautiful. It makes me want to dance. It makes me want to cry and rejoice. The beat controls my existence and my being. My life is like an Arabic song, Habibi.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Amidst all the color and adventure of my life, I also had to get a job and build a career. And so I found myself in Singapore for my first job, working for one of the largest banks in the world. And the wonderful part was that I could travel in the Far East as a result. But on the other hand, I realized how much pressure students and young professionals are under to perform and to reach materialistic goals and material success. And I wondered, is this the kind of pressure I always want to live with? Is this the direction I always want my life to go towards? And so I wrote the next poem with all those thoughts in mind. The poem is called A Brave New World. It'll be read by my wonderful friend Uzra, who is the head of Ladies Fund and many initiatives for the empowerment of women. Thank you, Uzra.
Thank you, Ambreen, and many, many congratulations. We
you.
are so happy for you. I'm so happy for you and proud of you. The following was written by the author, our dear Ambreen, while working at a fast-paced multinational corporation. It is a eulogy to a new generation, bred on the internet, cyberspace, and global dreams. Brave new world. Constant change, blinding pace, brilliance, confusion, and endless space. The sky's the limit, the spirit's the motor. Reach out and make your dreams come true, they generally do, in this brave new world. The pressure is mounting as from childhood we are put to test. We're trained to be the best. From kindergarten to junior high, the motto is do or die. College applications and extracurriculars, good grades, and all the particulars. From college to high-flying jobs, there seems no end. With SAT and GMAT around the bend, refresher courses, pretty resumes on Word, the job market is getting more competitive, haven't you heard? Our families come and go. Email addresses are all we know. That is how we remember who our friends are and contact loved ones near and far. It is a strange life or chore where even peace becomes a bore. We want the best. We are willing to pay through restless nights and busy days. The faster we run, the sadder we feel. An anchorlessness that prosperity can't heal. No time to smell the flowers or laugh with friends on fairy bowers, and watch the rain in summer showers. Time passes us by so fast. Wish the good moments would last. Too many endings, too many beginnings, too little time for the important things. Life's a global swirl in this brave new world. Hope we can be brave enough. Thank you.
Thank you, Uttara. I eventually left banking and shifted to the development sector, which I found much more satisfying. Whereas I found the base of the corporate sector a bit breathtaking and breathless at moments, I found the parts of Pakistan where development projects were taking place were very peaceful and gave me a lot of grounding. I was so impressed by the resilience of the people of this country and how they managed to overcome obstacles despite constant man-made and natural challenges. I spent a lot of time in the northern areas of Pakistan, and there I was struck by the sheer majesty of the mountains and the valleys. And somewhere along the line, I realized how great God is and how omnipresent. This poem that is going to be read by my dear friend Regina is called God Lives. It was written in Chitral initially and then completed in Karachi. Thank you, Regina.
Thank you for having me over, Ambreen. It's such an honor. God Lives, written after an inspirational visit to the northern areas of Pakistan. God lives in nature, in the orange hues of sunset, in the twittering of birds at dawn, in the falling leaves of autumn, or the blossom of flowers in spring. God lives in beauty in the mountains, in the starry night, or the dazzling moonlight as it spills its tresses over the waves at sea. God lives in innocence, in the laughter of children with sparkling eyes, in the smile of a newborn babe, in families as they sit together for lunch and tea, among friends as they share their joys and woes. God lives in effort, in the struggling hands of the farmer, or the child studying by candlelight, in the voice of the singer who pours his soul into every note. God lives in passion, in the canvas of the artist who captures the beauty of the universe, in the dance of the dervish, in the cry of the lover. God lives in the heart that turns to him in prayer, in the fire of men's souls that makes them heroes in war or storm, in man's courage and spirit of sacrifice. God lives in prayer, in people's laughter, faith, and hope, in their everlasting belief that somewhere beyond the storm lies peace and calm. And then to conclude with 2 verses from the Quran and the Bible each, endorsing on the omniscience, omnipotence, and omnipresence of God. Wherever you turn, there is the face of God. Al-Quran 2:115. Ask and you will be given. Seek and you will find. Matthew 7, verse 7. Thank you.
Thank you, Regina. So I continue to live in Karachi and work in the development sector with an increasing focus on education. Life in Karachi is full of chaos, drama, upheavals, challenges, triumphs. I guess life in every city is like that. But the good thing about Karachi is that I could go and sit by the sea and just watch and hear the waves crash upon the shore, and then all the worries of life in Karachi would melt away. And the sea really put things in perspective. And I did a lot of growing up in those years that I lived in Karachi, but in a very nice way, thanks to the waves and the seaside. The next poem is called The Waves. It'll be read by my good friend Nadra, who is a teacher, a writer, and the nicest person I know.
You're entirely too kind. Okay, Assalamu alaikum and good evening, friends who are also family. And this is an extremely proud moment for me.
Will you be muffled?
I don't think I'm muffled. Am I muffled? As a teacher, you can't be muffled.
Wonderful.
Okay, so this piece, and I must congratulate Ambreen on several things. I think she's chosen the pieces to fit the people who are actually reciting. So it's very thoughtful of you to include us in this part, even though it is your day. And it's an extremely proud moment for me because, you know, it's Ambreen's work. So she wrote this, and these are in her own words, written as I learnt wisdom in Karachi, the city by the sea. It's titled Waves. Accept that people are often selfish and unreliable, that circumstances change as often as people, that people come into your life as waves. The foam washes away the scum and the good. New people come to replace the foam that washed away. For everything, including relationships, there is an appointed time. Accept that life is a state of acceptance, neither happy nor sad. The glass is neither full nor empty. It is just a glass, which we are trying to explain through analogies and metaphors. That this too shall pass, whether it is happiness or woe. That life ebbs and flows like the waves. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nadra. The next poem of the evening is called Into the Light. It's an extract from the poem, a few lines, in Ode to London, which is my favorite city in the world, which I have been visiting over the years. London is so cosmopolitan and accepting that no matter what your challenges are, the outgoing nature of the people there do help things fall into place with time. This poem was written in the house of Lottie Henley, who to this day is a constant friend and supporter. I'll just read out 6 lines from the poem in Ode to London. Into the light. Someone's prayers, someone's kindness and love, special moments of life with family and friends. Perhaps this is the spirit that keeps me going even now. God above me, the earth below me. Around me there are people who strive just like me. We are the champions, those who fight to live. As the poems reflect, I did a lot of soul searching and traveling after I left high school. And during the time, the most important lesson I learned was to look beyond challenges. And the only way you can do that is if you have the courage and strength. And that source of courage and strength is often our network of support, our family and friends, and being able to keep the faith. The last poem of this evening was written in high school, Karachi Grammar School. The poem is called Love, and it was written in the most idyllic frame of mind, but it has been learned and experienced through the course of life. I have learned that there are many faces of love, and that there are many people, places, and experiences that collectively encapsulate love. In the poem that Regina read out, there is a line that goes, there's an ayat from the Quran that says, wherever you turn, there is the face of God. And perhaps It is our most beautiful memories in life that are a reflection of that face of God. The next poem is called Love. It'll be read by Ambreen, who is the artist who's made all these beautiful paintings that describe faith, companionship, love, and a spiritual journey. There's no one better to read the poem. Over to you, Ambreen.
Thank you very much, Ambreen. Love, written in high school and learned through life. Love is about friendship, someone you can share your secrets with, someone to whom one look conveys the whole message, someone who knows you for all your virtues and faults, and loves you all the same. Love is about time and understanding and trust that comes from going through good times and bad times together. Love is not a sudden spark of lust, moon, ocean, stars, that dies as quickly as it ignites. Love is about always, through splendid balls and simple walks along the beach, along all the trials and tribulations that life is about, through ups and downs with no conditions attached. Love is about reality, seeing things as they really are and not through the blind eyes of passion. Don't promise me the sun and the moon. Don't promise me the stars and the sky. I belong on earth as you do. Just promise to be my friend. I ask for no perfection. I have none to give. Just be yourself and be a friend. Be there. That's all I can promise. That's all I ask of love. Thank you.
Thank you. That was the last poem of the evening. I would like to have a dedication now. And I would like to dedicate this book to my family and friends in Karachi and many other cities of the world. Thank you all for the laughter, memories, and support. I look forward to the journey continuing with all of you in some way or the other, and in some part of the world or the other. Thank you so much. Now we will have some beautiful bookmarks distributed. These were made by Regina, and they are a memory for us of all being together this evening in tonight's Caravanserai, or guest house. I hope you enjoyed the poems. I hope they touched all of you, you related to them in some way, or they brought home some memories. But I'm glad we were here together as the poems were read.